Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would just do a WIP and chat because I haven't done one in a while. It's really hard to do though when the kids are in or on summer break. So I'm trying to get back into that. They don't actually go back to school until, well, it's a hot mess, so we'll get into that in a minute. But I am working on this diamond painting here. It's called, what is it, Reina or something like that? I've had it for a while. Always wanted to work on it because I was kind of drawn to the color palette. And then of course when I started working on it, like, see, I liked this beigey color here, but it turns out it's actually like all peach. So that caught me a little off guard. So I'm interested to see how this one ends up turning out, considering it's so much peach. And there's only like 18 colors in this whole kit. It's a ton of color blocking, so I guess that'll make it go faster. But I'm kind of curious to see how this color palette plays out. I have my calendar, or not my calendar, my camera at an angle I'm not quite used to. In fact, it's like hovering over my head, so we'll see how that does. This won't be super long. It's been a while since I've done a WIP and chat. And I'm just trying to get back into the groove. Oops, I dropped that little guy. What we're gonna do. So yeah, I finally got back to streaming with my adult coloring channel. I need to get back on task with like my actual videos and not just streaming, but baby steps. My watercolor channel I've been neglecting as well, but really I've been just so busy, so I left that job, and it sucked because I mean, you know, when you're an adult you kind of need a steady paycheck, and I decided to go full back into my Etsy store and just focus on that. Back in the day, I always have offered wax melts, but now I'm offering like way more than I normally do. And so that's been an adjustment, just trying to like figure out production days for diamond painting, wax, and putty, but also still being able to like create wax melts and like have a whole production schedule. And it'll get easier too when the kids are in school, because like right now it's hard because, you know, they have friends or we're going places with family, and so it's hard to like keep your production schedule even. So I'm hoping that'll level out. But yeah, I mean, it's going well. The sales are slowly ticking up. I do plan to create some diamond painting pens and start putting those up. It's been on my list forever. I even have some blanks already ready to go. In fact, let me grab one of them. Or a couple of them. So this one is actually one I turned the other day, and I was having problems with the speed on my lathe, so it started chipping away at some of the resin here. So I'm gonna put it back on and turn it. I had just done kind of like rough chips to create divots, but I'm gonna go back in and smooth it out. This is actually going to be a really pretty one when it's done. If you can see all the glitter and stuff, it's like ocean themed, and even the blue, like look at that. So it'll be a fun one. I've got these ones here that I poured. I use those bespoke pen molds. They're such a pain in the butt. So I poured these two little guys. I'm going to turn these and see where that goes. I have other blanks too, they're just not nearby. And then I have this one here. I think this one will be pretty fun. And so I'm trying to do, as you can see, these are kind of short, like in comparison to, say, this one here that I got from Shimmering Canvases. They're a little shorter. I actually prefer mine shorter because I love Shimmering Canvases pens. In fact, I just now ordered 2 more. Do I even need 2 more? No. But Dawn, the owner, she and I collaborate because she supplies custom drills for my limited edition boxes, but also all of those fun bundles I've started to release. So she and I have been working closely together, and I just love her pens. I love the colors. I love the way she pours them. In fact, the one I ordered today would match perfectly with this canvas. So I'm actually hoping it shows up while I'm still working on it. I picked this one. I mean, it matches pretty close, but the one I ordered today would be, oh, perfect. And yes, I do feel it completes the experience when your pen matches your canvas. So I'm going to be working on that. I think once the kids are in school, I'll have more time during the day. I can go out there on the lathe. It's a lot of work on the lathe, and then of course right now it is just so hot and my lathe is in the garage, so you just get like roasting in there, and so that's kind of put a damper on it too, because I'm just frying while I'm sitting there trying to, you know, carve out perfect even lines and mess around with everything. So yeah, we'll see, but I plan to probably start releasing those. My goal was to start releasing diamond painting pens in September. That's my tentative. Oops, these ones are coming loose. Well, that was a hot mess. Don't diamond paint like me. I should have changed out my putty before I went and did this, but you know how like you'll refill your pen with putty and then quit for the day, and you're like, ah, that putty is fresh though, or at least it was last night. And I didn't cover the tip, which I normally like, I'll put it in a bag so that the putty stays fresh. I didn't, so it's kind of not loving me right now. So I'll probably change it out here soon, but let's see how long we can make it last. So yeah, September is my goal to start releasing diamond painting pens. I've got the wax melts in full swing. Like, I'm ordering the oils I need in like heavier amounts than I've ever ordered, and I'm doing fall scents because that's just what you do when you're in retail and it's August. And man, does my house smell like a combination of apple, pumpkin, nutmeg. Basically fall has thrown up in my house, and which is fine. I love fall, it's my favorite season. But you know, when it's like 100 degrees outside and you've been sitting in your wax studio pouring out all these fall scents, you're just like, oh. So I get giddy when people order something that isn't a fall scent. I'm like, oh, a break for my nose. I honestly don't think I can even smell pumpkin spice anymore, which is a little tragic because my pumpkin spice latte comes out soon, and I really need to be able to taste that. School-wise though, everything's been hinging on the kids going back to school, and the biggest problem for us is, so all of my kids are going to brand new, like as in newly constructed schools this year, and my son's high school, which is conveniently parked now across the street from my house, is not done, so they're going to have them online until September 3rd. And then my daughter going into junior high, she's about the only one that's actually starting school on time. So we did her back to school night. Her school is actually opening on the day it's supposed to. The worst one is the one for my daughter going into who's in elementary school. So they're building a brand new elementary school, and originally they were going to do a late start, but the school is nowhere near done, and school starts on Wednesday, and they just let us know last night, I'm filming this on a Saturday by the way, they let us know Friday night that they won't be opening for the late start, and instead they're going to be distributing all the kids that are supposed to go to this new school to neighboring schools, and they're separating them by grades. So certain grades won't even go to like the school they went to before all this started. Luckily for us, my daughter is going back to her old school, but if she was a grade lower, she'd be going to a different elementary. And then they're basically just going to park there, even though they have no room. And yeah, they're going to go to school there till the other one's done, and it's just a nightmare. So they tell us this last minute, so now we have back to school night for her, but we have to get the supply list from the new school in case that opens. We meet with her new teacher from the new school, but we'll meet them at the old school. And now they're scrambling to get buses put together because all the bus routes have changed because, well, now they're having kids go to 2 different neighboring schools since their school isn't done. It's just, yeah. Every day we're like, you know, as parents, we're calling the school and be like, can you like let us know what's going on? Because like I took my one daughter that I knew for sure was going to school back to school shopping, but I didn't with my younger one because originally they said late start. So now I'm scrambling to get all her stuff, and then I didn't expect to have to go to back to school night, which makes it harder because my older daughter is in comp dance and she has dance on Mondays and can't miss it. Even though their competition season isn't until spring, once fall rolls around, it's like basically mandatory you show up to your dance class because they spend all between now and March learning and tweaking and fine-tuning their routines. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get her to back to school night at her old school, even though she doesn't technically go there. She's just like kind of hanging out there. And then get my daughter to dance, and yeah. And then I've been really I want to get into a groove so I can get back to filming because I miss filming. Like, it's just a creative outlet of sorts. I like sharing my passions, you know, whether it be diamond painting right here in front of you, or adult coloring, or really like anything. Watercolor. I have such good plans for watercolor. I'd been doing brand comparisons by color names, and I decided instead of doing like, you know, a meager 8 or so, I would buy every single brand that had that color available. So I'm doing that with indigo, and I kid you not, I think I'm at 21 brands, so it's gonna be like a huge comparison. I'll probably do this like once a month. And then I was gonna open an Etsy store to sell the dots, so if anyone watching wanted to get their hands on just that one dot and try it out, they could get them from me. And so that's like a new business plan I got going on. I also wanted to get my book review YouTube channel up, and yes, I know I have a lot of YouTube channels, but like I haven't been doing adult coloring as much, although yesterday and the day before that I was really getting into it again. It ebbs and flows more than the ocean, but you know, I've been reading a ton, and I love to read. And I've always wanted to have like a little book review YouTube. And so I was like, you know, I'm already reading. And by that, I mean spending hours a day reading. Probably unhealthy, but you know what? We'll address that another day. I've gone through so many books in the past few months. It's, well, yeah, it's a little nuts. But I want to start a book review channel, and that's my plan. So I need to change the putty on this one. It's just getting all sorts of icky. But yeah, so I want to get into that. Like, I have a whole list because I'm over 50 to 60 something books now that I could review, and then some. I'm gonna do monkey farts. I know it's the stupidest name. It's just the name of the scent, but let's see if I can pull it out. It got all smushed because I was being lazy. So as you can see, it's kind of separated, but it's yellow, and really it's just banana. That's the biggest scent you get from it, is banana, you know, hence the monkey. And then there's some tropical notes in there too, but it's really all banana, and I just find it so refreshing. I'm not the biggest fan of the name either. I might actually change the name to like banana smoothie or something. I don't know, there's times I'm like, I wonder if people just don't buy this one because it's called monkey farts. Although my unicorn fart one sold. I hate that word anyways. Like, I even tell my kids don't use that word. So I've been using this one on this canvas and then a combo of these two. Fairy Dust was actually a limited edition from February. And still it's like working great. Oh, it smells so lovely. And then I've been using my Twisted Unicorn. Oh, that one smells so good. Twisted Unicorn was never a limited, I don't think. I do have Twisted Mermaid on my desk too. They're all quite delicious. But yeah, so where was I? Got sidetracked. The putty made me sidetrack. But oh yeah, so I have quite a few ideas for YouTube channels. It's like not enough time. And then I'm just trying to get myself into a groove with my store so that I can do all my other extracurricular ideas. I've been working on my book, and on one of them, you're probably wondering why I'm not using a cover minder. It's because down here is like not the color I'm working on, and I just don't feel like putting release paper over it. So instead I'm just bending my thing. But yeah, I did finish the first draft of one of my books, and then I'm a pantser. So pantsers don't plot or outline, you just sit down and write. I find it kind of liberating, to be honest, because then you can kind of just let it flow, but then the story and the characters develop, for me at least, more naturally than if I just plan out everything. I plan out a few things, but not much. Most of it just goes by the seat of your pants. And so I kind of follow Stephen King's advice a lot when it comes to pantser style writing, because he's one of the most famous pantsers out there. He like fully embraces pantsing. He absolutely hates outlines. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, what the heck is going through that dude's mind with some of the stories he comes up with on the fly, right? Like, to live in his brain for one day, just one day. But yeah, he's a notorious pantser, and his biggest thing of advice is if you finish a book, you put it away. Don't even think about it. Even though you'll have ideas, if you have ideas, write them in a notebook, but no matter what, don't pick up the actual manuscript for at least a week. He prefers you even like go longer, like 2 weeks to a month, but you know, not all of us have that luxury. But his big thing is just put it away. And so at first I was like, oh, I'm not gonna follow this, I'm gonna start editing it. But then I decided, okay, I'm gonna pull away and just kind of see what happens. And so I pulled away from it, and then I just let it stew, and I started working on another book because I already had another idea queued up. And there's nothing wrong with starting on another one. It's a good palette cleanser because then it kind of makes you not just focus on your old one. And so then I came back to my old one. I had a bunch of notes that I had like made over the week, like of things, you know, I wanted to double check, a couple things I was like, you know what, I want to change this up now. And so then I sat down and I'm kind of revamping quite a bit of it. Not rewriting the whole thing, but I like out of nowhere at like midnight, because I swear that's when my brain's like, hey, you know what would be fun? Writing a book now. The idea came to me of how to change it up, and so I'm changing it up. But it actually works because I was really struggling, and like I could even tell with some of like the later chapters where I was just like, oh, I need to get this done. You could tell I was like just grasping at straws when I was writing the content. I just felt forced. And so of course that's what editing is for, but yeah, you could tell I was just like, I guess this will work. And then when I came back to it, I was like, nope, I've got a plan. This is going to be awesome. And so, yeah, I'm reworking it. And then I'd like to get it up on Kindle. Of course, I will have a pen name. I actually have a pen name for back in the day when I did freelance writing, but that pen name is reserved and has always been reserved for my fantasy writing. So until I do fantasy books, that one is staying on the shelf. I have a new pen name for this book. Oh, sorry, the dogs. So yeah, so the books I'm working on right now are just contemporary romance books. Really fun. So like I would love writing fantasy. But fantasy books take a long time. People don't realize it, okay? But think about it. A fantasy book requires not just character building, but world building. Lots of world building. You're building everything from the ground up, right down to like history sometimes, depending on how crazy you want to get with your world building. But like, for example, take, you know, all of that with Game of Thrones. That is one heck of a world building. I mean, we had history and religions and all that stuff. I mean, so you have to keep in mind, fantasy, you can't write quickly. You're building an entire new universe here, along with characters, along with magic systems if you want them. It's just very complex. Romance is a lot easier because I can just plop my characters into somewhere that's already existing, and for some reason I'm gravitating constantly towards Manhattan. I don't know why. I think it's because something about Central Park in the fall is just so pretty and romantic. But so I've been working on those books right now. And yeah, they're a lot easier, quicker to write because I'm not having to world build. I can use what's already in the world because Manhattan is there. It's got history. It's got Fifth Avenue. It's got this. It's got that. Like, you know what I mean? I can use what's there so I don't have to waste hours on end going, what am I going to name this random city? It's just a little freeing, and I have tons of ideas. Like, I'll wake up in the middle of the night with ideas. And then, like I mentioned, I've noticed, like, I get more creative in the evening, which sucks, because I just want to sit down and read, or go to bed, or, I don't know, stare at a wall. But like I compare the writing I do in the morning, because normally what I do is I get up, drink some coffee, read, because reading gets those creative juices flowing. But then I'll read and I'll go to write, and the writing's okay, but it takes me longer to get in the groove. Now, again, it could be because my kids are home. So, you know, I swear to God, the second I put headphones on, every 5 minutes, someone needs me. No one needs me all day till my headphones are on, and then it's like, Mom. But it's harder to get into the groove, like and it takes a few hours. So I noticed, like, if I start writing starting about 8 o'clock at night, sometimes even more close to like 9 or 10, like the creativity is just flowing, but the problem is I'm like tired. And I'm like, I just want to read. It's been a long day. So I'm like trying to retrain my body to just be like, okay, writing hour is now late at night. I don't know if it's because I'm not interrupted, or if that's just when my brain gets more creative, because I'll go back and read this stuff I write later at night and I'm like, ah, that was perfect. Whereas then I'll like read the stuff I read during the day and you could tell it was like I was struggling to get my mojo going. And I'm a morning person, so that's not the issue. I think it's a combination of being interrupted constantly and, you know, just all that. And it's not my kid's fault. But yeah. And I feel like every year, excuse me, every year right before school starts, I'm always like, yep, just waiting for school start to get back into this or that. Like even with my filming, I'm like, okay, sorry about that. If I enjoyed editing, I would remove that. I have my tripod on the side of me that I never film on, and I forgot it was there and I stepped on it. Normally my tripod is on the other side of me. So there we go. But I am not a fan of editing out bloopers, so blooper, I stepped on my tripod. Anyway, what was I saying? I can't remember, but yeah, definitely want to get back into getting all my content together, and then of course finishing my book and start writing more books. The first book is always the hardest. It's also always your worst. I've spoken to a few authors. It helps because I'm in the industry, so I do speak to people who have published books, you know, so they can give me a little bit more insight, and they're super helpful. And even they're like, hey, you know what, just, you gotta like bite the bullet, publish that first one, even if you think it's crap, because all writers think their work is crap, but just publish it, because that's like the hurdle. And then once you publish it, you'll start to get your groove. You also, you know, you'll also get an idea of like, okay, my readers enjoyed this. This does not want to, this canvas is not very sticky. I hate when that happens. And I'm too lazy to put that glue on. But yeah, it's like your first hurdle, but like you need to take it. Even if you're just like, oh, I hate this book, or it's just not right. Just get it out there. Most authors go back and rewrite their first books, and they'll leave the old version up, but they'll do a revamp. Some pull the old version entirely, you know, especially if they start getting famous. But yeah, like the first books is the hardest, and it's the one you're never happy with, but you just have to like get it out there, because it's something like a roadblock, and you've just got to push through that block first, and then once you get pushed past that, then everything else comes a lot easier. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just telling myself, okay, just need to get this first one out, and then I will go from there. The first one's pretty cute. Has a cute mute. Sorry, I'm not used to having it on that side. I'm gonna get so many thumbs down. I apologize, but that never matters. Yeah, it has a cute meet cute. I just love the term meet cute. It's beautiful. But it's a cute little contemporary romance book that I'll probably end up turning into a series, because as I was writing it, I realized, you know what, this could be easily a series. That's the fun thing about writing romance. You can make them into some fun, like, little series. I've also been dabbling in, like, more suspense romance categories and mafia romance. Have you ever read mafia romance books? I read one on a whim, and I was like, this is so fun. Apparently, I want to be, like, in the mafia. Not for real. Definitely not for real, because we all know what those books are not portraying, but I was like, these books are so fun to read. And so I did start writing one, and I was like, these are so fun to write. But I'll actually publish those under a different pen name. And you're probably like, why would you do that if you have a pen name for fantasy and a pen name for romance? Well, here's the thing, you know, if you say you become a famous author, and I by no means am publishing going, ooh, I'm gonna be like, you know, super famous and be Julia Quinn and have Bridgerton like all up on Netflix. I'm realistic. I'm not going for that, but just in case a book does take off, when people start to read your books, they tend to know your style, or they tend to, you know, see that author's name and know what they're getting into. And the romance ones I'm working on right now are kind of like, I don't want to say they're necessarily a rom-com, but they do have some comedy to them. And so it would be really hard for like a reader to read that and then go switch to a more dark and serious one, because that's not what they would expect. And many might not read the description before flopping over. Same thing with my fantasy. I don't want to write fantasy books and then, you know, it be tied to romance and people will be like, oh, a new book's out, and assume that it's fantasy and then be like, oh my gosh, this is a romance novel. So that's why I'm doing that. But also, I firmly believe in embracing your writer persona. And like, when I'm writing as that writer, I feel like I write better. So like, when I'm under that particular pen name, I just feel like that style of writing comes easier because I'm like embodying that persona. So apparently I have multiple personalities, I guess is where we're going with that. Multiple book writing personalities. I should probably clarify that. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on. And then, like I said, I really want to get back into my content. I even have some post-kit reviews. I've been horrible with social media. And I need to get on social media. I just don't have time. My daughter has offered to help with some social media stuff because I'm like, I want to create reels and do this, but again, where's the time, right? So she's offered to help, although all my kids are now required to put in 1 hour of Etsy as part of their contribution to the family business, and then anything over an hour they get paid for. But yeah, my one daughter is gonna help me, I think, with social media because I'm just falling behind. I just need someone to honestly publish the stuff. I mean, I can take the pictures, make the videos, but I need someone to just get it up there and deal with all the hashtags and, you know, all that little stuff. But we'll see. I don't know. It's still new. I had quit that job, and then I kind of just, with summer and me working on my Etsy, I kind of was just like, well, I'll wait and see where things go, you know, see what I want to do. And now that I know for sure what I want to do, I just need to like find my groove. And I do tend to come alive more in the fall. It's probably because it's not, you know, 100 degrees outside. And all that. And then of course, you know, pumpkin spice season rolls around, and then everything is great in the world for those few months. So yeah, that will definitely help, and it'll actually bring some of my creativity back. I swear it's like my brain hibernates in the summer. It's like, I can't handle this heat, I'll talk to you later, and then it's just gone. But we'll see how it goes. I'm just kind of like doing baby steps with everything, like streaming on Sundays with my adult coloring channel. If I get an actual video out that week, sweet. If I don't, well, at least I've got my Sunday stream, which I plan to do. WIP and chats are going to actually stay on the diamond painting channel. And the reason for that is I'm kind of going in a different direction with my adult coloring channel. Not a crazy deviation. It's just, it'll be easier to put WIP and chats on here and leave different content on my coloring channel. I wish I could go into the whole spiel of why, but that would just take forever. So, don't want to bore you to death here. There is so much of this color. I really do wish it was the tan that is in the blank canvas. That's my only gripe, but I'm gonna keep plowing along and I'm hoping it'll look prettier once it's done. I went and looked back on Diamond Art Club's website and they did show the peach. I just didn't scroll over to see what it would look like filled in. So you know what, that was my fault. I can't even blame them. But really, why didn't they make this peach instead of this tan color? Like, I don't know, it just, if I would have seen that, I would have questioned purchasing it, but it's all right. I think this one will be good. I am trying to sell my finished diamond paintings. I have them on my Etsy, but that's just too much of a pain. So I'm either going to open a new Etsy solely for finished diamond painting art, or I might just put them on my Ko-Fi. I never get it right. So I haven't decided, but if you are interested in ever buying a finished diamond painting, I'm also going to give away some too. Let me know, because I really want to kind of, I only have so much wall space, and so, like, you know, I can give away some as gifts to people, but other ones it's like, well, what am I going to do with this thing? So yeah, like if you're ever interested in buying one you see that I've completed, definitely let me know. I'm not even selling them for a lot. Just more so I'm selling them, 1, to cover the shipping, and 2, to maybe get just a little money back so I can buy more paintings or whatever I need. Like pens that I don't need, diamond painting pens. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with those. So always love to hear how you would prefer to buy them, if you're even interested in buying finished diamond paintings. I just don't want them to sit in a artist canvas thingy that I got and that's where they stay. It's not like with adult coloring where I can get a binder together, you know, like these things are huge. So that's my thing. I need somewhere to send them all. Let's just say family this year is going to get a lot of diamond paintings, finished ones, for Christmas, because, yep, that's what I got to give. But I better let you all go for now, in case I accidentally bump my head on this thing above. I'm guaranteed to do it. So I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for hanging out with me for a quick little WIP and chat. I am going to try and get these done weekly and keep you guys updated, since I won't be doing that on my other channel. Do check out my other channels if you like adult coloring. It's Colorfully Optimistic. I have a silent coloring channel as well. They're just silent color alongs called The Quiet Colorist. And then my watercoloring channel is Watercolor Wandering with Corey. They all should be linked at the bottom of my profile on this channel as well. But yeah, and I'm going to start sharing in the community post when other channels post their content of mine. And then, like I said, I'll probably have a book review channel coming soon. So that'll be fun, because I have a lot of books to review. A lot. Obscure and popular, all the like. But I hope you guys have a great week, and until next time, take care. Bye now.